Jim Breuer.
Jim Breuer.
Jim Breuer. Jim Breuer.
Jim Breuer.
Senor Michael, how are you?
Jim, muy bien. How are you?
I'm good. You know what really bothers me though right now? You can't see my cool looking professional microphone. It really bothers me.
Looks good, man.
It looks pretty good, right?
Look at
but I don't
that
like
shit.
It's just the tip right there. It doesn't look.
Just the tip.
It's gotta look like that, so I might have to get rid of it.
Eh.
Son of a gun. Oh well. How you been, Mike?
Good, man. Good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Today's gonna be pretty cool, pretty interesting. I don't know if you know much about it.
I know a little bit about it. I know who's here.
You do?
Yes.
I know who's here too.
Yes.
But I knew it before you did.
Most likely. Yes.
Yeah. So everything's good on my end. We're just going to jump into it. I'm not going to waste everyone's time. Might as well just jump right to the shebiggle. So today, something really cool that was brought to my attention a while back, a couple months ago. So Bryan McKenna, who we've had here multiple times. We did a stand-up special from the Paramount with him included in it. You know Bryan McKenna, Long Island guy. So Bryan tells me, you got to see this comedian. He got diagnosed with cancer and he's not going to live. So he decided the one and only thing he really wanted to do in life was to film a comedy special, which he never got to do. Cancer, my wife immediately like, wait, what's going on? And he starts telling me the story, and I just couldn't believe the comedy that this guy found in such a harsh subject. It's a subject a lot of people don't like messing around with. Like even me, I'll go on stage and I'll mention my wife and, but from 2012 and then again 2014 and then the stage 4 in 2016, which thank God she's okay now after going through a trial. So, but still, I haven't really found the funny, and it's such a deep, relatable subject. A lot of people are petrified to talk about it. A lot of people are, they just don't want to go near that subject and find humor in it. And sometimes, there isn't humor in it. But I gotta say, I watched this guy's special, and I just could not believe he hit every area and every situation that my wife and I went through, and that so many of you could most likely relate to. And when I say so many of you, when they talk about pandemics and all this nonsense, everybody knows somebody that is going through some type of C-word cancer. Everybody. I don't care who you are, how healthy you are. Everyone knows somebody that has dealt with cancer. And I just think, forget that this thing is really funny. This comedy special is really funny, especially when he really starts going into it. It's the fact that I think, in the same manner that if you watch More Than Me, the documentary with my father and I, the real reason to do it was to show people, hey man, you're not the only one. There's so many other people that deal with their parents getting elderly, which he also touches upon in the opening part of his special, the concert. And people need to hear it because this is real life stuff, and it's very healing. It's very healing. And I have to say, this is, for me, I found myself belly laughing a bunch. Like I was belly laughing. And I really admired the honesty, finding the humor the way he did, and just really putting it out there for the world to see. So I'm not sure how many people have seen this, but I'm hoping after today and watching this, because I promise you, this is not going to be one of those, oh God. It is, it's really, you got to watch it. You have to watch this. And just the way to tackle the subject is absolutely, I gotta say, it's very honorable. So Bryan McKenna shows me the opening of this.
Nurse Tully, you have a call front desk. Nurse Tully.
Hi, Dawn. Yes, it's Dr. Heckman. How are you? Good. I wanted to give you an update on John. He's out of surgery and recovering, but he has a tough road ahead of him. He's septic and currently running a 106 temperature. Yes, and we're doing all that we can right now, but I want to be honest with you. It's touch and go right now. I'm not sure he can make it to the morning.
Are you talking about me?
Oh, no, I was talking about the other guy.
What other guy?
May not make the morning? Is this how it ends? I need more time. I mean, what have I done? It'll be like I was never here. I should have shot a comedy special. The only thing I love was doing stand-up. No one even knows who I am. You know what? I have to get the f*** out of here and get to the club. I'm shooting a comedy special.
And so basically, which I really think Bryan should be in movies and television. He's full-blown actor guy. So Bryan shows me the opening that he filmed with him. And it's the same way that he found out about it, which we'll talk about. And I went, oh my God. So what's going on now? So without further ado, let's just bring on Bryan McKenna.
What's up?
What are you doing?
I like that every episode you're in a different closet.
I feel like
Every time I zoom in, every time I come back on the show, you're in some different closet, like some other aspect that D threw you into. Go into that closet. That one's empty. You can go in there and use the fuck.
Yeah, I'm working my way to the garage, which I finally have internet for. And now it's like, I don't want everyone seeing our stuff in the garage. So now I got to get like a green screen and a whole, I don't know. I'm by far the most unprofessional podcaster with.
I love it.
That absolutely.
Dude, I'm in a bedroom.
Yeah, like who cares? Well,
I love it.
Who cares? As long as so yeah, this was months ago, and you tell me, you're like, hey man, you got to check it. Do you know John Ziegler? And I went,
yeah.
I don't know. And then you said, I think we might have crossed paths. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was years ago. I don't remember exactly where he worked with you. Maybe Governors on Long Island. I don't remember the exact whatever it was. But I said you had worked with him in the past, and I said he's a friend of mine. And I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a little selfish in the beginning. I kind of just wanted to show you the part that I was in. Like I didn't really care about his I didn't really care. I was like, hey Jim, look at this great thing that I'm in. And I was like, we can end it right there. We don't have to watch the whole special. We could just I'm really good.
Jim, I know you keep talking about me being in acting and all that. I want to show you acting shots. Forget that this guy's dying of cancer and he wants to do a special. Concentrate in the first 2 minutes because I think I crush it.
I'm a scene stealer. Guy's dying of cancer, and I'm like, I'm a scene stealer. You got to see me though. It's really great.
Well, at least you're honest.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking. I remember when I was showing it to you. I remember thinking, I'm like, he's going to be blown away by just my part. My part's going to be really.
Oh my God, Bryan! Again, I appreciate your honesty. Now at least I know.
It's so yeah. I'm in the first part of it, which is how you kind of got how I showed it to you. But his special is really funny, and especially like you said, it tackles a lot of very tough subjects where you're like, ugh. As a comic, like you said, you go, forget it. I'll talk about the supermarket.
Right, because there's times where I would say, so my wife, a lot of you are battling cancer. My wife, when she stage fright, the whole crowd, the asses pucker up.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, we don't want to go here with you. Man, you know what? We're tapping out. Just get to something else. We'd really appreciate it. So at the end of the day, he's still out there, and
he's alive enough to still do this podcast. So that was he's still here. Yeah, he's still out there doing it. I don't know if he's doing this material anymore.
Okay.
Now that I think about it, I don't know. I have to ask him, but I don't know if he's still doing kind of this on a regular basis, at least, where he's kind of
got it. And before I ask him, just so I can, what is, I mean, because he's going to tell me, we have him here too.
Yeah.
What is the prognosis here of?
I think as of now, I think his scans, the last ones, again, he's going to have to clarify, but the last one that I'd heard about, I think came back clean.
Okay.
And it was a matter of now we just got to every couple months rescan and check.
Okay.
So I think he's considerably better.
Okay.
But I don't know what that, I don't know the terminology, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know how it goes. Scans are good.
Yeah, scans are good. You're like, all right, everyone moves on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's where we're at. So, all right, without further ado, let's bring on John Ziegler.
Hey.
How you doing, John?
Good. Thanks for having me, Jim.
You look so good. I believe you're a scam.
You know what? I got a huge GoFundMe because I was dying, and now I'm not dying, and I feel pretty shitty about it. I don't know. Am I allowed to spend money? I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
I didn't donate to that, just for the record.
You didn't. But you also weren't paid for your acting job, so
that's true.
We'll call it a push.
So I got it. Before we even go into your special, John, what is the name of the special?
It's called Getting My Affairs in Order.
Why don't you tour this as a one-man special? That's the first thing I thought about. Why aren't you touring this? I think a lot of people need to see and hear, especially what you were talking about, just tackling the subject.
I'd like to. I've written more since I shot it, because it just kind of writes itself. So I probably have a tight 35 minutes just on the cancer. I've done some fundraisers for Lustgarten, which is the pancreatic foundation that raises money. But I'm performing just for cancer hospitals, with the general public. Brian, I heard you talking. I still do this. I pick and choose when I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve, I did New Year's Eve at a theater. Everybody was old, and I was probably not a good idea to do this material. And then I got artistic, and I closed on it for about 15 minutes.
And
it's everybody there probably had cancer. So I don't think they were feeling it. So,
are you afraid to? Not afraid. Are you afraid to? Do you think there's? I hate to say business-wise. Do you think there's no market to go out there or do you not want to be labeled the cancer guy?
It's a little bit of that. I worked really hard on being a comic. Now I don't want to be the cancer comic. It's like a catchphrase guy all of a sudden. I'm not afraid of doing it, but I do want to work. I'm not in a position where I could go out there and just be artistic and suck the life out of a room and be like, well, I'm going to do what I want to do. And they're like, well, nice meeting you.
Well, that's what, I mean, on a funny sense, also as a booker, I'd be like, I ain't booking this. I might have a canceled weekend coming up here. I don't know. I mean, I want to do the right thing, but God, this guy, his scans come back. Man, I don't know who am I replacing him with? I got to sell so many drinks and tickets, and I don't know.
Cool to do it as a one-man show, because at least people know what they're kind of coming to see.
I think I really think you got a one-man show.
That's what I'd like to do.
I don't even think there's a question about it. I mean, we should show clips. We're going to show clips during this thing, but nobody's doing this. And like I said, I mean, everything from going through the scans, to going to the doctors, to the questions, and then the way your friends react, and all the different people. That is every process you went through. I just went, oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. Oh my God, I remember that too.
Yeah.
Wow, I forgot about that. And meeting the different doctors. I mean, there was a part where you're like, well, which one? They said, well, it could be this cancer, this cancer, this cancer. You're like, well, which one am I rooting for? Which one should I get, Doc? I mean, tell me which one I got. It was really, I think, more people deal with this subject probably than any other bad health thing that they can get. Hands down. My wife gets calls every other day, and from people she don't even know, like, oh, I got another one. I got to talk to this woman. Okay, boom. Oh, shoot, I got another one. I got to talk to every other day. And the first thing that comes out is pure fear. I'm going to die. It's the end of the world, blah, blah, blah. And you really set a standard where you set up everything they're going to go through. And I think it's really important to put that out there. And if it can't be seen through your comedy special, which everyone should check out, we'll put the link out there.
Oh, thanks.
You should really be doing this as a why don't you, has anyone ever approached you about that?
No, the special did okay. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of views. I probably got like 80,000 views on it, but I just stuck it on YouTube for free, basically, and McKenna shared it on Facebook. That was my big PR campaign.
It was me posting it on my Facebook. Hey, watch this. I'm in it. Of course, I had to add that I was in it.
Like when I was shooting this, like I wrote it while I was sick, and then I shot it. I was off chemo for like 6 weeks when I shot it. So I just wanted to get it out there because I thought I was dying. And then it turns out I may not be dying. So now I'm like, how many views does it have? Like your whole perspective changes.
And it was pancreatic cancer?
Yeah.
Which usually means you're done.
Yeah, pretty much. I had a surgery called the Whipple surgery, which is basically if you can't get the Whipple, you're done. So a Whipple surgery, they were to cut out where the cancer was. I just got lucky. That's all it was. It was in the right place. I caught it early. So you think so you right now after they took it out, pancreatic cancer. Yeah, they cut it out.
They then gave you chemo.
Yeah, I did 6 months of that.
Right, blasted you.
Yeah, it was
get rid of everything. Right,
pretty bad.
And then so now you go through. When was that? When did they say we don't see anything on the scans?
I go every 3 months. So that was right before Christmas. So right before Christmas. So I think I got the results on the 20th of December. So
and it looks good.
Yeah, they see some. It's so funny how they tell you. They're like, look, no signs of cancer. They're like, but do you got a minute? I was in the gym. So like when your doctor goes, do you got a minute? I'm like, yeah, this is going to be good. So it's just the way.
You got a minute? I want to talk to you about the holidays. So I don't know how you've been. When you got the gym, that's a great idea because I got. Anyway,
you're like, you should do cardio. You're going to need it.
Yeah, you
like,
should really keep doing cardio. Get that heart going because boy, you're going to need a little more than your heart. But go ahead. Yeah, we'll talk later if it's inconvenient.
That was kind of what it was. So I said, what's going on? They're like, one of your lymph nodes has grown. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, could be nothing. Could be from a virus or a bacteria. I go, okay. They're like, or you're dying. Like, there's no gray area. It's either like, it's just inflamed and don't pay any attention to it.
Right.
Or, so they're not going to do anything right now. I'm going to do scans again in March.
Okay.
They're just kind of monitoring me through blood work.
And how are you like emotionally and dealing with this, knowing that every 3 months you kind of have to check on where your status is in life? Because that's my wife hit it very well. Hit it really well. And I don't know if it's because we had 3 kids and married and blah, blah. She's also got a deep faith. So, it was all about God and the Lord. everything and eating right. I mean, she went full blown, which I saw you special and I know where you stand. You don't eat right. You're an atheist. So I get it. But how does that affect you, like right now? Like where you at?
Brian's laughing because Brian knows I wasn't exactly a ray of sunshine before this. So I don't know why I've managed to deal with this pretty well. Like I talk to Brian every day. Like I never really freaked out, did I?
Well, no, I wouldn't say you're freaked out, but I'll say this: he did get diagnosed with cancer and then got engaged a few months later. And I went, man, this guy really waited to the last minute on this one.
Well, there's a funny moment in the special where he goes, I'm waiting for my scans, and my girlfriend said, you want to get married.
My girlfriend's been talking about we've been talking about getting married, and she's like, I didn't open it up for debate. It wasn't a. So I said, right now, I told her, I go, look, let me get through this next set of scans. Let's see what's happening. And she said, so you're telling me if your scans are good, we can get married? I'm like, no. If my scans are very, very bad. Because I can do this for like 6 to 8 months. 20 years? I don't know.
And when you say something, like, she goes, oh, so if it's good, we'll get married. You're like, no, it's horrible. And I got like 6 weeks. We're getting married because I ain't dealing with this for 20 years.
Well, we got engaged around Christmas time. I don't know exactly what, right around Christmas. So we're gonna get married in the fall sometime.
Congratulations.
Thanks, yeah.
Getting My Affairs in Order is John Ziegler's special that we're talking about that you filmed, which that's another thing. So back to this. You don't really freak out. You hold it well. Like what? You don't.
I mean, I have my moments.
You don't break down once in a while. Your mouth is open. You're like, what's happening?
I think what got me through a lot, Jim, was I was pretty ignorant to the whole thing. So when it's happening, it's a lot of information. They're like, so we can do a surgery. It's a big surgery. I'm like, all right, surgery. Okay. That's what you got to do. They're like, chemo's going to be rough. I'm like, oh, chemo, that sounds pretty good. My like ignorance. Like now looking back, if I would have known what I know now, I would have been scared to death going through it because it was the surgery was brutal and the chemo was brutal. Chemo was worse than the surgery.
Chemo hands down is worse. I watching my wife go through that was 10 times worse than the diagnosis and everything else. It really was. The side effects, which probably still affect her, but
some could be permanent, they told me. I was really lucky. I dodged a lot of the side effects.
Yeah, because they say stuff like, you might go numb. You might not feel your face or your feet. Maybe you're never going to walk. I mean, we don't really know. Your eye can come out, lose your teeth. You might be in a wheelchair, but trust me, you'll be alive. So you might have a tube in your mouth. It's going to be great. Oh, okay.
It was pretty, like one of them was cold sensitivity. Different chemos have different side effects. So mine had something called cold. So like I was like a super villain from Batman. If I want to reach in the refrigerator, I had to put mittens on to get something out of the refrigerator. And you forget sometimes, you're just like talking, you forget you grab a cold drink and you go, and if you drink it, they said it feels like shards of glass going down.
Oh, wow.
So sometimes I'd be like, oh, that's crazy. And I'd be like, oh, just get lucky. But I never really got that. I dodged a lot of the bad side effects. Neuropathy, which is numbness, supposed to get in your hands and feet. I got it in my jaw.
Wow.
Which wasn't on my checklist of things I might get. You didn't say anything about
you
my
might get numb. You're like, I didn't see that here.
I didn't see this. So
my face.
Every time I chewed, it was like radiating pain.
Oh.
But then I thought I had a root canal, so I was just bitching because I'm like, who gets cancer then needs a root canal? Like I thought I was just like, are you kidding? I mean, how much? It turned out that was just a side effect.
Got
it.
So overall, you feel good. You feel. I feel optimistic.
I feel normal. for the most part. So this Whipple surgery is huge. They cut me from like my below my chest to below my belly button. It's a big incision. It's really common to get a hernia from the surgery. So I have like a huge hernia. Like,
you do?
Yeah, it looks like the size of a Nerf football. Like it's literally looks like I'm in my, it's huge. It's freaky looking. I have no pain, doesn't hurt, but I got to have surgery on that, which is like, again, they make my doctor's very good on like minimizing everything.
Yeah.
He's like, you'll have a little surgery. And then you go in and he's like, all right, 3 months recovery. You're going to be in the hospital. I'm like, what happened to little surgery? Like everything he talked, he plays down.
Wow.
Did it with the chemo too.
Which he could be somewhat kudos to him if he kind of knows your character.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And if he knows to tell you that, he knows, okay, because if I straight up tell him, like, look, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know what kind of support team you got, but this is bad. Like, you ain't going to be to eat. You're going to hate life. You're going to think about, like, you know what? I'm done. It's going to be bad. Did you ever go there? Did you ever go to that moment where you're like, I can't do this anymore?
During chemo, I had to see how it played out, but the thing that races in my head of what if this comes back, because there's a high, I'll say the word wrong, recidivism with this type of cancer.
Yeah.
And the first 2 years they say are the most vital. So I always prepare in my head, like if it comes back, I don't want to be like, I go to a cancer hospital. You've seen them. Everybody's sick. They're in chairs with the things on their head and they're very frail. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
So I thought about, how to take myself out if I had to, but I don't like pain or any.
I've thought of a few ways to take you out. Also.
I did a lot of friends did text me suggestions. I did.
You'll never know what happened. It'll be fun. We'll play like we're gangsters, and you crossed us, and you won't even know what happened. We'll write a script about it. You'll be huge when you're gone.
Optimism is that's the hardest part is right now, because I kind of accepted that I was dying. So mentally, I was in a place like, well, this is it. Say my goodbye, shoot my special. I'm lucky I get some time to close up loose ends. But now I'm starting to get optimistic, and it would hurt a lot more if I went back and you're starting to think you're doing better. I compare it to like, I'm not running a bit, but it's a new bit basically I want to write about. It's like watching a sporting event to me. Like if the Jets are losing by 21 in the fourth, you go, I had a good season.
Right.
So you kind of accept it. Then you look and go, did they tie it up? And then they lose on a pick six in overtime. And you're like, oh, dude, now I'm going to lose 6 months sleep. That's going to haunt me. So that's how I feel right now. I'm like, dude, don't go to overtime and then lose on a safety. Like, I can't handle that.
Yeah,
so that's kind of where I'm at right now is I'm starting to get hopeful. I'm getting married. I'm trying to, get back to comedy again. Because it was like pandemic cancer. So there was like a 2.5 year period. I did comedy through the whole thing, but I mean, how much was there for me to do?
Right.
Between a global pandemic and intensive care, it wasn't.
And that's an honest assessment. We're talking with John Ziegler and Bryan McKenna. Getting My Affairs in Order is a special that you put out, which I found myself belly laughing. And again, I kept saying, wow, this is a one-man show that should be touring the country, hands down. It's finding that even the material, I'm sure you still continue writing, but I wouldn't, I'm not weird, but I'm all about your calling, your destiny. It's, you want to become a comedian and you don't want to be labeled as the cancer guy. And there's things that I've struggled with in the past, like what am I really here for, and how many lives am I supposed? I do believe I'm supposed to touch lives and change lives through comedy. I think if you and I don't know, man, I'm not you. I think you have great potential to change and heal a lot of lives more than you can ever imagine. And sometimes we look at it as, I want to be known as a great comedian, all right? And that often in my head is our ego getting in our way of what I want, what we want. Where I think of it sometimes as, wow, maybe this trial in your life is going through so that you learn to give to others and change so many lives, and you become something you never realized you'd become, whether you want it or not.
Yeah, like when I do those jokes, or my mother, I took care of my mother for 4 or 5 years who had Alzheimer's. Those were the first jokes I ever wrote, was the stuff about my mom that was really personal. And I'm like, can I talk about this subject?
Yeah. I saw that in the beginning of your special, Getting My Affairs in Order. I saw that. And of course you had my attention because I did the same.
I know your dad, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. And my mom with Alzheimer's. It was bad. Go ahead.
So I took care of her, but that connection I got with an audience doing those jokes is really different than, you know, hey, I really like that Dunkin' Donuts joke. You're like, thanks. But when you hit a nerve,
yep,
they want to sit at the bar with me and have a drink, and it's it's kind of a cool feeling. And I'm getting that with doing the cancer stuff.
100%.
But I can read when I'm in a comedy club, I can see. It's different than a theater, you know, I can see everybody.
Yes.
And when I'm in a comedy club doing those jokes, sometimes I see just like a wife reach over and grab her husband's hand. And I go, oh, I wonder which one of them has cancer. Like, it's so obvious.
Yes.
They're processing different.
Yes, 100%. I remember the same thing. You know, I talk about holding my dad when he passed and the whole process and all of it. And you see people either start crying, or they'll start, like you said, they'll grab the person next to them because they just are going through it as we speak. And as much as you don't want to see that response, you want to see that response, because they're so afraid to share those emotions. This is what I came to terms with. They're so afraid to show those emotions, and they're so afraid to deal with reality, because that's human. That is reality. This whole, you know, hey, it's the Packers in the Super Bowl. How the Giants doing? To me, it's all part of a nonsense, scripted, bizarre, slavery mental world we live in. And nobody touches the reality of humanity that connects in such a deeper manner than what you're going through, what we all go through. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm telling you, man, this has got to, I don't know who's listening, but I pray to God somebody says, oh, I'll tell you what, man, I'm going to show this to someone I'm meeting next week. And there's no, you know, no expectations, but
even I'll pray to God.
I just hope somebody shows them my part. Like, man, this guy in the beginning is a good actor.
Well, this is true too. I may you may lose it all once I see Bryan. That's the unfortunate part.
You know what? Bryan is
a scene stealer.
Bryan is a very good actor. And
he's a great actor. Yeah.
I'm the worst actor. I've done some sketches and other people's things before. Bryan will vouch.
Pretty bad.
He was more convincing. I am pretty bad. He was more convincing as my doctor than I was playing myself with cancer. You're like, how do you not have this down, dude? I don't understand why you're.
There was a lot of takes, and it wasn't because of me.
Just my one line being like, you talking about me? That was my 32 take.
You got it once doing De Niro. You talking about me? To De Niro. All right, let's try it again. So, by the way, that's another thing. You put the special together, because I couldn't believe how well done it was.
So I got to give a shout out to my friend Pete Sussy. I went to high school with him.
Well, damn, I'm writing that name down.
Yeah, he owns a company called Platypus Productions.
Okay.
Platypus. And I went to high school with him. We talk every 4 years, one of those high school buddies, you know, bump into him in the supermarket. You're like, hey, Pete. So we always liked him, always a good guy. I know this is what he did, and I was in a pinch, so I called him like, do you know anybody who can shoot this? And I don't have a crazy budget. And this is how nice he was. He knows what I'm going through. He goes, let me talk to my team. Hold on. He called me back in 10 minutes. He goes, we're going to shoot your special. And I said, all right, what is it? And he goes, no, we're just going to, he did it for basically free. Him and his production company as a favor to me, because I was going through. And he put a lot of time and effort into it.
He did the editing and everything?
He did everything. They shot it. They edited it. He shot the opening sketch.
I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm not purposely I'm just being dead honest. That was so well done.
I appreciate
so well
it.
done between the angles, capturing you, the sound quality. That was an incredible comedy special, and I've seen a whole bunch of them. I was even annoyed at one part when I'm like, this is why didn't I get this team to do my special? I'm like, I know I'm being dead serious. I know I'm being silly right now, but this guy filmed he did an incredible job.
They did a great job, and their hands are, shooting in a comedy club is rough because it's hard to place the cameras, the sight lines, you have wait staff running around. So, we kind of threw this together and they worked around it best they can.
Also, it was one show.
Yeah, I did that. It's only one show. Yeah.
Are you serious?
That's what I was yelling at him about, because I was like, "You're gonna do one show, you idiot!" I go, "You know what happens in a comedy club? There's always someone yelling some shit out, or something drops in the background, screws up the whole bit, or your timing's off." I go,
I cut about 15 minutes. I cut about 15 minutes out because there was either I flubbed something or there was music playing, music coming out of the kitchen or whatever it was.
There's like something going on.
Yeah, it's Long Island Governors. There was one song, I'm gonna knock you. I swear to God. Oh, sorry.
Forgot we're filming.
Sorry. I didn't mean it. I thought, get the French fries and the nachos out right now. They're sitting on the counter for 10 minutes. Oh, sorry. I didn't know you can hear me.
I wanted it shorter anyway because I think people's attention span now. I wanted to keep it to about 40 minutes tops.
Which I think is way better. I gotta be honest with you. And to hold someone's attention for an hour,
it's not easy.
Really, my last special that somebody had to say it. Everyone's like, "Oh my God!" No one remembers anything past my first 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm like, I thought some of the best stuff was asked in my first 20 minutes. Like, it's like putting out an album. Like, man, that first 2 songs. What about the other 8? I don't really remember them.
Yeah, like I had to pick the kids up. I forgot. It's stuff to do.
Yeah. But no. You had me from the beginning, and I thought it was perfect when you ended. It was just the right amount of time. Man, I can't say enough about it. And what I'm talking about is John Ziegler's getting my affairs in order. And when did you? So this is what blows my mind too. So they tell you got pancreatic cancer.
Yeah, they thought it was my gallbladder. I was in the hospital for 2 days. They kept saying it's your gallbladder. And then some guy I never saw, he was like some GI surgeon, walked in and he goes, I don't think it's your gallbladder. I'm pretty sure you have pancreatic cancer. It's exactly how he told me. And I was kind of like, what?
And from hearing that, when do you decide, okay, out of all the things I want to do, I never got to put out a comedy special. I want to film a comedy special. What's that time period?
45 seconds. It was.
I'm going to die? Oh, shit. I'm doing a comedy special.
Well, okay. Yeah, because I think the reason, this is going to sound corny, the reason I didn't freak out is because I started comedy at 40 years old. I'm 55. So wow. I started at 40. It was my dream my whole life. I never had the balls to do it. And I think when I got told what I had and I thought I was dying, I was like, well, I kind of did what I wanted to do. I don't have regret. If I was working in a cubicle,
right,
I think I would have handled that very different. But I was like, I got to meet idols. I mean, you were the first person. Brian was asking where we worked together. You're the first feature weekend I ever had was you at Governor's. It had to be 10, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
A long time ago at Governor's. But you were my first feature weekend. And I remember because he's not the owner of Governor's anymore. He's the owner, Mark, who was one of the old owners.
Yes.
He came in the green room. I was so nervous. I had a blazer on to open for you. I was like,
I'm vaguely remembering this. Go ahead.
So Mark comes into the green room and he's like, oh, Ziegler, this is Breuer weekend. It was 5 sold out shows. It was packed. And he's like, I kind of wanted, he named some other guys he wanted instead of me.
I didn't want you, so I'm just telling you, John.
He's like, but John Truson had booked me. He was the booker of the club then. And Mark was just kind of like, I said, you should get this guy or that guy. He insisted on you. And I'm like, you're doing nothing for my confidence right now. And That was 10 or 11 years ago. That was my first feature weekend with you.
And thank God I was nice.
Yeah, and I did the Wilbur with you about 7 years ago.
I remember that.
It was a snowstorm.
And this was from Mark, because Mark introduced me to you. Yes. He introduced me to Bryan.
Yep.
He introduced me to one or two others too. Wow. And the Wilbur, I remember doing the Wilbur too. And I remember the green room upstairs. That's when I saw you. I'm like, I feel like I saw him somewhere else, meaning Boston instead of Long Island.
We crossed paths. I was in Montreal. You were doing something, working on a project in Montreal. Mark was someone involved in.
Oh my God!
We're going back a long time.
Wow! Yeah.
So we've crossed paths, and then I'm like, someday I'm going to get cancer and get on this guy's podcast. I remember telling
and okay, so this is what I want to ask you, because you're diagnosed, and then you go, I want to do a comedy special. Is that what most of your focus is on? Because are you writing jokes? Are you a writer?
Yeah, I'm more of a writer. I'm a writer. More of a writer than a performer.
Yeah.
My performances, you can put me on an X. I'm not going to move very much. It's mostly here. It's my facial expressions, but it took me a long time to learn that. I was petrified on stage for like 4 years. Like petrified.
Well, I admire guys like you, because I can't do that. I can't do it. And I really admire that, because to hold my attention by not being animated, you've gotta be good, boy. I've tried a million people to stand there. I'm like, all right. And after 15 minutes, I'm like, all right, oh my God, I can't take this guy anymore. You're really, the writing was brilliant on it. And this is what I want to ask you. It didn't even seem like you were writing. And what I mean by that, it just seemed like you took your experience, you took your blatant honesty, and then you were able to just put it up there. It was almost like you were having a conversation with someone walking you through this, which is why I think this should be toured as a one-man show. I'm just being honest.
I don't want to say it was the easiest stuff I ever wrote, but it was, in terms of volume and tightening up bits. It didn't take, like, I only ran that set, I think 2, maybe 3 times. That's it, because I didn't have a chance to run it, and I was in and out of hospitals. So I went into that just kind of like, oh, I wrote this and I'm going to shoot it as a special. I mean, I did get to run it twice, but it's in order.
Yeah.
Of how it happened. It's like, this is how I knew I was sick. So it was easy to remember, because it was, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but it was in order of how things. Chronological. That's the word there.
Thank you, Bryan.
Thank you, Bryan.
Who would have thought I would have came up with that one?
From the bathroom, Bryan comes up with chronological order.
Chronological.
Thank you.
But every day, when you're in a hospital, and you've been through this, with your wife, you sit in a hospital and they come in, and every day it's another. Like, what? I did most of it. I think there was 2 bits I forgot, which in hindsight, you're like, first of all, I have a bit about the term getting my affairs in order, which is the name of the special. And I think it's the only cancer bit I forgot to do. And it's the name of my special. I walked off stage, I go, did I not do the thing it's named after? Like, it just slipped my mind.
But now you have more material on it.
I've written since, because now you deal with the post cancer stuff, which is the scans and going back and the advice you get from people. I get 2 sides. I get people who are overly compassionate, which is very nice, but makes me uncomfortable.
Right.
It's like, oh man, and I'm thinking about you, and I'm praying for you. I'm like, oh, we're not even friends, really. Like, I appreciate it.
Yes, I know.
But it's a bit much.
I know.
And then I get the opposite. I get the friends who always want to be tough.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know, man. I might be dying. Like, yeah, we're all dying. And I'm like, yeah, not by Labor Day, dude. We're not the same. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. We're not gone. You're not gone yet. I mean, really? Go already. God,
so I just like, I like a little attention. It's nice to get
sure.
Hey, how you doing? And I'm like, good. But that's there's a line.
Sure.
I don't like to be suffocated.
He likes getting a free bagel at the deli. That's what this is about. He likes going to the deli, and the guy's like, "Hey, you want a free? I know you're sick. You want a bagel?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll take the bagel."
I was on the phone with a mutual friend, and I go to the same bagel store every morning. I read the sports section. I eat my egg sandwich, my coffee. I do it every day.
Yeah.
And they know what I'm going through. So there's a long line one day, and I just see them. I know the manager and stuff. They can see me. So I just hold my stomach, and I take some breaths. And they walk right over. They're like, "John, what do you need?" They're like, "Go sit down." And they bring my coffee and my breakfast to the table. And I'm like, "Can I pay you after?" And they're always like, "John, we're just happy you're eating. Don't worry, we're happy you're eating. Don't worry about it."
Thanks all the attention.
And I got my friend's on speaker, and he's like, "You're a piece of shit. Look at you." Eat my sandwich. So there's some perks.
Yeah, I would imagine there is. Well, I got to be honest with you, John. It's very inspiring to talk to you and listen to you. Really, really funny stuff. And Bryan, thank you for introducing me to the special, to seeing John again.
Yeah.
And I really thank you guys for being here. The special is called Getting My Affairs in Order. We're going to show clips of it.
That's awesome. Thank you.
And man, if I can help, which I'm going to try with no, who am I? I'm a nobody, but I am definitely going to put feelers out. You should be touring the world with this. This is powerful.
That's awesome.
And when I say the world, this goes beyond this country. This goes all over, man. This is awesome, incredible stuff. I think you're just scratching the surface of what your true potential can be as far as making people heal and laugh from such a harsh subject. And no matter what your faith is or what you believe, that connects deeper with all of us. And we are connected deeper, brother. I don't know how or why you want to define it, but we are. Johnny, thank you, brother.
Thank you, Jim.
Have a good one. Keep your acting going. Maybe you find someone else. Maybe you find someone else that ain't gonna make it.
Yeah, I gotta find someone else who's got cancer so I can slide in. Hey,
or another disease. Maybe you can find another disease out there to help someone. Let me know. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
See you later, McKenna.
Later.
So, again, John Ziegler. Go to his website. The special is called "Getting My Affairs in Order," and I'm telling you, I know a lot of you have been through it. I know, and I'm telling you from the perspective of what I dealt with and deal with as just a bystander of watching in my life, the way others react, the way how you feel, the things you put out. This, in my belief, this special, Getting My Affairs in Order, can heal a lot of you. Whether you're never had cancer, know anything about cancer, whether you're going through it, whether you're already past it, you got to check this out. Because I'm telling you, I'm being honest with you. I thought it was tremendous. I thought it was absolutely tremendous. The spirit of it, the humor of it, and everything that John put into this. So I hope you all experience it. Once again, it's John Ziegler, Getting My Affairs in Order. Please check it out, pass it along, and I hope you get out of it what I did. I really, really hope to see this guy. Someone do this as a special, someone tour this, because I don't know what you call it or how you would do it, but it's truly something that I've never seen before, and I highly recommend it. So thank you for checking out the Breuniverse today. The tour dates are up, jimbrewer.com. We'll check out your messages. Thank you for all the love and all the honesty and all the great messages you send me over and over and over again. We are deeply connected, no matter who believes what. But when we connect in a deeper manner, that's when we realize the importance of our existence. Have a good one. We'll see you next time at the Breuniverse. Take care.
Take a look around and what do you see? This is Jim Breuer, and I got my own Patreon page, and hopefully you'll check it out. Live comedy concert streamed once a month. Weekly, you host your own podcast, and you interview me. Early access to the Breuniverse podcast every single week, and have bonus footage and bonus segments. I promise you I'm not going to let you down. Go check out my official Jim Breuer Patreon page, and I'll see you there.
You know, Bryan McKenna, I work with many, many times on the road, and great opening comedian and great comedian. You know what, dude? There we go. I'm going to start over. Fucking hair was driving me crazy.